So in this video, let's look at the aromatic character, that is based on the Huckel's rule of aromatic hydrocarbons from BSc first year syllabus. Yes, so when we look at what is this concept of aromaticity is, yes, how can we define this aromatic hydrocarbons? In a simple way, they are cyclic conjugated systems, right? They are cyclic, planar, conjugated systems which undergo substitution reactions in preference to the addition reactions and which are highly stable. So what are they? They're cyclic systems. They're unsaturated because of the presence of double bonds. For example, when we take benzene, this is an aromatic compound. It is cyclic. There is a presence of unsaturation because double bonds present here, and they are conjugated, the third point, that means alternating single and double bonds, and they're highly stable. Right. So what is this high stability due to? This high stability is due to this, actually the delocalization of these pi electrons. So the pi electrons here, if you see, the double bonds are not related to any two carbon atoms, but they are in delocalization and belong to all the 6 carbon atoms as a whole, for example, benzene. So what are the criteria for the molecule to be aromatic, or when can we say that the molecule is aromatic? Simple. Here, so the 4 points to remember. First of all, the molecule should be cyclic, 1 point. Second, it should be planar. So what is planar? So first of all, let's look at that it should be sp2 hybridized. For example, the same benzene we are taking with alternating single and double bonds. So all the carbon atoms in this are sp2 hybridized. sp2 hybridized. So when there is double bonds and single bonds in conjugation, we know that the molecule is sp2 hybridized. It should never be sp3 hybridized. So the main criteria is the molecule. In the molecules, all the carbon atoms should be sp2 hybridized. First one, it should be cyclic. So if it is sp2 hybridized, so each one has unhybridized p orbital. So the unhybridized p orbital here can overlap. So or in conjugation can overlap, resulting in then extensive or continuous overlap of them is there. So that is what is conjugation actually. Right. So when there is an sp2 hybridized carbon atom, and all these atoms should be, all these orbitals should be in one plane. That is what is planar. So the molecule should be cyclic. All the carbon atoms should be sp2 hybridized and planar. The molecule is planar. That means all the atoms in the molecule should lie in one plane. Right. So from these 3 points, there is one more point we can, build it. That is, it should be conjugated. That is alternating single and double bonds. Right. There's one more important rule. If these 3 criteria are followed, that means if the molecule is cyclic, if all the atoms are sp2 hybridized, and if the molecule is planar, then it should have 4n plus 2 pi electrons, and this is called as Huckel's rule. Yes, and the molecule which is consisting of 4n plus 2 pi electrons is said to be what? It is aromatic. So n can be 0, 1, 2, 3. So what are the number of electrons it should have now? So not the multiples of 4, but if n is 0, it will be 2. If n is 1, it will be 6. 10, 14, 18 electrons, and so on. So what are the number of pi electrons it should have? 2, 6, 10, 14, and 18. That means it should follow the Huckel's rule, that is 4n plus 2 pi electron rule. So the molecule should be cyclic. It should be planar. For example, benzene, the molecule is cyclic. All the atoms in this is sp2 hybridized, and it is planar. If it is follows these 3 conditions, then it should have 4n plus 2 pi electrons, that is Huckel's rule. So the number of electrons which are in conjugation should be 2, 6, 10, 14, or 18. In benzene, we can say that there are 6 pi electrons which are in conjugation. Okay, right. This is criteria for aromaticity. And there is one more term here. So non-aromatic. So what is non-aromatic here? And then comes anti-aromatic. First, let's look at this anti-aromatic, and then we'll go for non-aromatic. So yes. So when we look at this non-aromatic, no, first is anti-aromatic. I'm sorry. Yes, anti-aromatic and then non-aromatic. Yes, when again if molecule is same three rules followed, that is cyclic, sp2 hybridized, planar, but it does not have 4n plus 2 pi electrons. How many electrons it has? 4n pi electrons. So all the three conditions are followed. That is, the molecule is cyclic, the carbon atoms are hybridized, the molecule is planar, but it does not follow 4n plus 2 pi electrons, and follows which rule? 4n pi electron rule. So the molecule is said to be anti-aromatic here, and the molecule is highly destabilized and highly reactive if the molecule is anti-aromatic. And the molecules which are other than aromatic and anti-aromatic are called as non-aromatic. So any of these three conditions are not followed. That means the molecule is not cyclic, or the molecule, we don't have sp2 hybridization, that means sp3 hybridized carbon atoms are present, or the molecule is not planar. So if any one of these three conditions are not followed, then the molecule is said to be non-aromatic. Right. So for the molecule to be aromatic, so it should be cyclic. All the carbon atoms should be sp2 hybridized, and it should be planar and should follow what rule? 4n plus 2 pi electron rule. If it follows 4n pi electrons, if it is not following 4n plus 2 pi electrons, then the molecule is said to be anti-aromatic. So the molecules which are other than aromatic and anti-aromatic are called as non-aromatic. So if for example, if the molecule is not cyclic, or for example, if you can see this cyclopentadiene, where this is having sp3 hybridized carbon atom. So it is non-aromatic, right? If it is not following any of these three conditions, then it is said to be non-aromatic. Yes. So let's look at what Huckel's rule is figuring out which electrons in the compound are actually pi electrons. Yes, which electrons in the molecule are pi electrons? Actually, the pi electron which are present in the p orbitals have pi electrons. And for example, if you take benzene, each carbon here is sp2 hybridized, and each has one unhybridized p orbital with one electron each. Right? So one electron each we have in this sp2 hybridized p orbital. Right? And the electrons in these p orbitals are pi electrons. That's it. Right. And here, aromaticity is usually described by molecular orbital theory, MOT theory. Right. Who was the first one who gave the rule? That is, Erich Huckel gave the Huckel's rule. So what does it Huckel's rule say? We just now discussed it, but just the definition of it. So what it is: planar, cyclic, completely conjugated system, that is planar, again sp2 hybridization here, so all the carbon atoms should be sp2 hybridized, it should be cyclic, it should be planar. In other words, we have what? The completely conjugated system that possesses 4n plus 2 pi electrons, are aromatic and are extra stable. The same thing what I've discussed here. There. So what is it? Planar, cyclic, completely conjugated systems that possess 4n plus 2 pi electrons are aromatic, and which does not possess 4s2 plus electrons, which possess 4n pi electrons, are anti-aromatic, and compounds other than aromatic and anti-aromatic are non-aromatic. So any of the three conditions are not satisfied. Maybe it is not planar, maybe it is not cyclic, maybe it is not having sp2 hybridized carbon atoms, it might have sp3 hybridized carbon atom. Then we are saying that the molecule is what? Non-aromatic. Right. So the Huckel molecular orbital calculations, that is HMO calculations. This is Huckel molecular orbital calculations. Here assigns the pi orbital energies of monocyclic unsaturated systems here. Right. So this is what if the number of carbon atoms in a cycle are 3 here. So for a tricyclic system, for 4 carbon atoms, 5, 6, 7, and 8 carbon atoms. And this is what? Unsaturated system. This is unsaturated systems here. Yes. So here, n number of pi electrons. This is n is the number, that is, it can be, okay. N is 0 here, 1 in this 4 carbon system, 1 in 5, 6 in, again with 6 it is 1, 7 it is 1, and 8 is 2. So how many number of pi electrons are there? It can be given by the formula for triene system. For 3 carbon system in a cyclic, this is 4n plus 3. Here it is 4n, 4n plus 1, 4n plus 2, 4n plus 3, and 4n. Here we have 4n, here we have 4n electrons. That means these two systems with 4n pi electrons, what we said, it is anti-aromatic. And with the 4n plus 2 rule, Huckel's rule, we said that they are aromatic. Right? So others are all non-aromatic. Right? So this can be explained in terms of this molecular orbital theory. Right? So these are bonding molecular orbitals, or these are non-bonding, these are anti-bonding molecular orbitals. Right. So what Huckel has said that, yes, the molecule is stabilized when these bonding molecular orbitals are completely filled, or closed shells are filled, when these bonding orbitals are filled or closed shells. So the ones which are below this reference line are called as here bonding molecular orbitals, and the one in the reference line are non-bonding, and the one above this reference line are anti-bonding. When these bonding molecular orbitals are completely filled, the molecule is said to be stable. So where does we find this completely filled? In benzene. Right? In benzene, it follows 4n2 plus 2 Huckel's rule, and where n is equal to 1, we have 6 electrons here, 6 pi electrons, and these 6 electrons are going to which bonding molecular orbitals here. All the 6 electrons, the bonding molecular orbitals are completely filled here. So we're getting a closed shell of electrons, 6 pi electrons. So this is what he is calling it as a aromatic compound. Right. So when this antibonding molecular orbitals are filled, then it is said to be non-aromatic. Then it is non-aromatic. So here this is non-aromatic. Here this is also non-aromatic. This is also non-aromatic. When this bonding molecular orbitals are filled, then it is anti-aromatic. Then it is lead to, this is anti-aromatic, and it leads to destabilizing effect. They are more unstable than the non-aromatic compounds also. They are very unstable when compared to that of the non-aromatic compounds also. So the molecule tries to be in non-aromatic form rather than its anti-aromatic form. Okay, we'll discuss about that. So this is about this molecular orbital theory. So when we take, first of all, the benzene. Yes, so benzene, I said this n is equal to 1. So when we are taking 4n plus 2 pi electron rule, so this is a benzene. So 4n plus 2 pi electron rule, 4 into 1 plus 2, so it has 6 pi electrons. So Huckel's rule is completely satisfied, and it is cyclic. It is sp2 hybridized, all the carbon atoms. It is planar. So all the 3 conditions are followed, and moreover, the Huckel's rule is also followed. So this is aromatic, right? So the HMO method also predicts the special stabilization of benzene, because all the molecular orbitals are completely filled here. So 3 molecular orbitals are completely filled here, right? So this is a classic example of aromatic compounds here, right? Where benzene n is equal to 1 here, right? So this is more, yeah. So when we come to the applications of this Huckel's rule to non-benzenoid compounds, that is, which is not looking like benzene, compound which exhibits an aromatic behavior that does not contain any benzene nucleus, right? But still it shows aromatic character, or called benzenoid compounds. So when we take, first of all, the cyclopropynyl cation, now this is planar because it is sp2 hybridized, and also cyclic, and moreover it has how many electrons now? 4n plus 2 pi electron rule is also followed, that is Huckel's rule here. So since all the conditions are satisfied here, by losing an electron from the antibonding molecular orbital by becoming the cyclopropynyl cation. So this is a cation which is being formed. So as a result, the molecule is becoming aromatic. So cyclopropynyl cation is aromatic here. Right. So we can see the delocalization of the pi electrons here. So this is how is the delocalization actually seen. These are the resonance structures we can see here, and the resonance hybrid is. Yes. So cyclopropynyl cation is aromatic since all the conditions of this aromaticity are fulfilled, and by losing an electron from the antibonding molecular orbital. And when we look at this cyclobutadiene cation, so first look at cyclobutadiene. In cyclobutadiene, yes, this is a cyclobutadiene where N is equal to 1 and it is 4n pi electron system. So the molecule here, if you can see, all the carbons are sp2 hybridized, and it is cyclic and it is planar. So, and again, all the conditions for aromaticity are fulfilled. But what about this 4n plus 2 pi electron rule? So how many are there? Since N is equal to 1, so it is 4 electrons which are present. With the 4 electrons, what does the rule 4n pi electrons? So it is and when it is what? The molecule is, what do you say? It is anti-aromatic, because so very highly unstable. We already discussed this. So the molecule which are anti-aromatic are more unstable than the molecules which are non-aromatic. So these are highly reactive, right? Because here we can see that the electrons which are present in the non-bonding orbitals. These are the non-bonding orbitals, right? These are what? Non-bonding orbitals. These are bonding molecular orbitals, and these are anti-bonding molecular orbitals. So here non-bonding molecular orbitals are filled with electrons. So this is anti-aromatic system. So it's highly unstable. Otherwise, we can see with the 4n pi electrons also, we can check this. Right. So how can this become aromatic? So by losing the 2 electrons which are present in the non-bonding orbitals. So by losing the 2 electrons which are present in the non-bonding molecular orbitals, it becomes what? Dication, cyclobutynyl dication. So now this is the resonance structures which can be seen for cyclobutynyl dication. So if you see the resonance structure of this, is a dipositive ion, we can see this. Right, so by losing the 2 electrons which are present from the non-bonding molecular orbitals, it can become what? Aromatic. So as a result, it is gaining how many electrons? The molecule is still cyclic, still sp2, still planar. Now it has 4n plus 2 pi electrons. How many electrons? Only 2 electrons it has present. So the molecule is becoming aromatic. So this is what cyclobutynyl dication is aromatic. Right. Now, so when we look at the cyclopentadienyl anion, what about this? So first of all, for cyclobutadiene, this is non-aromatic, because here when we see the hybridization, this is sp3 hybridized carbon atom. So molecule is cyclic, but the carbon atom here is sp3 hybridized, so the molecule is non-aromatic. Right? So the molecule is non-aromatic here. So here, how can you make it aromatic? So otherwise it is 4n plus, since n is equal to 1 here, so number of electrons are, it follows 4n plus 1 pi electron rule. So this is what? This is non-aromatic here. So the 5 electrons which are filled in the bonding molecular orbitals, by gaining 1 more electron into this bonding molecular orbital, this is bonding, this is non-bonding, these are anti-bonding. below the reference line and above the reference line. So if I make this, if I add one more electron into this bonding molecular orbital, because this is following 4n plus 1 rule, I can make this aromatic, right? So, and this one is sp3 hybridized carbon atom. So now, by the addition of one electron to this bonding molecular orbital, it will have 4n plus 2 pi electrons now, which is making it aromatic. So cyclopentadienyl anion is aromatic. Now, if you can check with this, so the molecule is cyclic, the molecule is again planar, and it is sp2 hybridized. sp2 hybridized, so the making the molecule planar here by the loss of the proton here from the carbon atom, sp3 hybridized carbon atom. So removal of the proton from this sp3 hybridized carbon atom. So sorry, by the removal of the proton from this sp3 hybridized carbon atom, we are making the molecule, the carbon here sp2 hybridized here. Thereby we are the molecule is getting the aromaticity by the gaining of the one electron in the bonding molecular orbital. Right. So this followed all the conditions: sp2, cyclic, planar, and 4n plus 2 pi electrons. So we can check this with the molecular orbital theory also. And these are the resonance structures which are possible for cyclopentadienyl anion, which is aromatic. And if you look at the resonance hybrid here, so this is a resonance hybrid which can be shown here. So when we look at the tropylium cation, so first of all, let's look at this cycloheptatriene. So this is cycloheptatriene. This is non-aromatic because this carbon is sp3 hybridized. It's cyclic structure, but the carbon here is sp3 hybridized carbon atom, so it's making it non-aromatic. So, so how many electrons are there in this? If you see this 4n plus 3 pi electrons, where n is equal to 1 here. So this 7 electrons are distributed in the manner shown there. So, so one of the electrons in the antibonding molecular orbitals we can see here. So these are bonding. I'm sorry, these are non-bonding, right? Non-bonding. These are non-bonding. These are bonding. So this reference line is bonding actually. This is bonding and these are anti-bonding. So we can see one electron in the antibonding molecular orbital. So this is making this non-aromatic, right? So if you remove that one electron from the antibonding molecular orbital, then we can make the molecule aromatic, that is called as tropylium cation. So this sp3 hybridized carbon atom now. So we can change this to SbF3. Minus Cl, so making it tropylium cation here. So this is tropylium cation is aromatic because the molecule is cyclic. If you look at it with sp2 hybridized, so sp3 hybridized carbon atom is changed to sp2, and it is planar and it is following all the 6 electrons here, 4n plus 2 pi electrons, because we are removing one electron from it. So thereby making the molecule aromatic. We're removing the electron from the antibonding molecular orbital. So only bonding molecular orbitals are filled. So thereby making the molecule highly stable, that is 4n plus 2 pi electron, cyclic, sp2, planar, and 4n plus 2. Or we can recheck with the bonding, HMO theory also, where we're removing the one electron from the antibonding molecular orbital. Thereby only molecular orbitals are being filled here. So let's look at this cyclooctatetraene. So cyclooctatetraene, when we look at it, this is a cyclooctatetraene where n is equal to 2 and it is following 4n pi electron rule. So the molecule here, if we think that this is cyclic, okay, if we think that the molecule is planar, and all the carbons are sp2 hybridized here. So what is the rule which is following? Since it has 8 electrons, n is equal to 2, this is following 4n pi electron rule here. So if all these 3 conditions are followed and it is 4n pi electron system, we are calling it as what? We are calling it as anti-aromatic. If the molecule were to be planar, but structural studies have indicated that it is not planar. That is not planar here, the molecule here, here it is not planar. So if it is not planar, so it is having a tub shaped structure actually. So this is the it is acquiring a tub shaped structure in order to the molecule is not anti-aromatic. So if the molecule is not planar, here what is it becoming now? If the molecule is not planar, so if the molecule is not planar, so then it is becoming non-aromatic. So the molecule in anti-aromatic, if it is anti-aromatic here, it is very unstable. So in order that it is not so unstable, in order to retain the stability, it is losing its planarity. So that it is getting this tub shaped structure, so that the molecule is not planar and the molecule thus becomes non-aromatic, because non-aromatic compounds are stable than anti-aromatic compounds. Right. So this is about cyclooctatetraene. So this, by acquiring the tub shape, it escapes from the destabilizing effect of anti-aromaticity. Just by acquiring this tub shape, so that it is becoming non-planar, thereby escaping from what? The destabilizing effect of this anti-aromaticity. So again, if it loses this, yes, this is about cyclooctatetraene. And yes, if you like my video, please do like, share, and subscribe my channel. The whole chapter has been discussed on my YouTube channel, and the link of it is given in the description box below.